Okay, so now that you've got your perspective view sitting just right, make sure if you do make any changes and you want to keep them, you've got to right click and update the scene. So I'm going to change to the floor plan view now, and to create a floor plan I'll zoom out on the floor plan view. A couple of things I might do. I might simplify this before we go any further. I'll turn shadows off for one thing, so there's no shadows showing. I'll open up my layer dialog box, and just for the moment I'll uncheck the site, and this will give you a good idea of what we're trying to do here. So I'll also open up my styles dialog box, and I'll pick the drafting style, nice simple drafting style. Okay, now to create a floor plan view, what we want to do is we want to do a horizontal section plane and look down through that section plane. So what we're doing through here is we'll grab the section plane tool. It looks like a little arrow pointer on a document with a bubble indicator in it, reference. So I'll click on the section plane tool and I'll bring it down somewhere. Notice that it changes its orientation depending on where you are hovering over the model. So bring it down somewhere in front of the building where you're not hovering over anything, and make sure if you've got your sight turned on, make sure you're not on top of your sight, because your sight will change the orientation also. So I haven't got the sight turned on, I'm in front of the building. Everything should be straight in the red, green, blue axis now, so I'll just click on there, in front there. Now that has put a section plane in for me at the reference plane level, the origin level. So what I'll do is I'll make sure that's selected, change its blue when you've got it selected, go to my move tool, and I'll move that on blue axis, and you see what's happening. I'll just zoom in a bit more. As you move it up, you change where the section plane's cutting through. So I want to cut through, I'll just hold it there for a second. I want to cut through these window sills. I want all the window sills to show, so these are the highest window sills I've got. So I'm cutting through at that point. Now I'll actually I'll get rid of this open sash out in the, because I've used an awning window, I don't want that sash to show. So I might just bring that section plane down, but I'll bring it up until it still cuts through the windowsill, so I need to bring it down just a touch further. Oops, about something like orbit round till you get a nice tight zoomed up view showing just the windowsill, the bit of the sash and the arrow of the section plane in the background, and that way you'll be able to sort of control a bit easier coming down to something like that. So I don't want to see that sash in the background, and my section plane's just there. So I'll unselect that by clicking out in space, and then I'll zoom back out. So I've got my section plane looking at the right level, looking down on top of my building. What else will I do at that point? I'll go to a top view, so in your view toolbar, click on the top view. Now that's still in perspective. I can see the walls vanishing into a one-point perspective down in the middle of the floor plan. So under camera, I'll change my camera type to a parallel projection, not a perspective projection. Have a look at some other layers now at this stage. So I'll open up the layer dialog box, and I need the wall, I need the floor. I'll probably turn set out on so I can see those grid lines for a floor plan view. I need floor, I need wall. I won't need roof because they're not showing up on this view at all. Posts I'll need, unchecked solar, and that'll probably do it. So that simplifies the number of layers that are turned on. Now, we're actually still looking through the section plane at the moment. This section plane is showing up. So the drawing's a little bit hazy at the moment because we're sort of peering through that section plane. So just beside the section tool, this is the display section planes button, so you can tick on that so it's the section plane actually turns off, and it'll clean your drawing up a little bit more. I'll just zoom in mine a little bit further so it nicely fills the page. And I'm going to update everything on that floor plan now. So right click and update that. Now, one important thing though, because when we updated that section plane, it's kept all the information about the styles that we're using. And inside the styles definition, this display section planes is actually, that information is capturing the styles. So every time I click back on that, if my styles says to show section planes, it'll re-show the section planes all the time. So underneath styles, I'm opening that up, I'm clicking on each of my styles, and I'll go edit. Now under edit, click on the modelling, which is the very last little box, and make sure that I want the section cuts to be active, but I don't want to see the section planes. So uncheck section planes, and then you'll see the little, whenever you change anything in the editing part of the styles dialog box, you'll see these little circular arrows show up on the preview. So just click that preview and it updates. That sort of like does a save of all of your settings. Now I'm going to go back to select. Section planes won't worry me in modelling, but also in my presentation view, I'll click to that and I'll edit that and make sure section planes don't show up there either, and then click that, and then I should be right to close down the styles dialog box. And I think because I updated previously, I can just click back on floor plan and it should change all my styles information. Click on perspective. Okay, so we can change now from perspective to floor plan. Just working our way through now, if I go to the north elevation, in north elevation, obviously I think I'll change my styles to drafting once again. Yep, that might be all I'll do there. Now in my north elevation, I think I want that to be a front view, so I'll click on this front view here. Click it again. Okay, something's not happening the way I expected it to happen here. I expected that to give me a nice front-on view like this. So why is that front view not working? Oh, there it is, it's working for me now. That's what I'd want. So when I've got that front view sitting just like that, I think shadows turned on would be good for an elevation view. And my style, I think I made sure was drafting. Yes, so I'm on the drafting style. Shadows turned on. I'll just carefully zoom that in. Doesn't want to zoom for me at the moment. Must be thinking about something. Carefully zoom that in. Deselect everything. Alright, and that's my elevation view. So I might update that. Okay, we'll change to the west elevation view. Now west elevation, once again, also I might change my style to drafting. Well, you could please yourself actually. The elevations might show up good in presentation as well. I'll just uncheck that, and now I think I'll want a right hand side view, so I'll click on the right view. Okay, oh, that's what we should have done to the other one, change to parallel projection. That's probably what mucked me up before. Re-click right and just zoom up. So I'll go back to my, now I might change for this view, I might change, we've got, I might actually turn sight off because we've got some of the sight getting in the road of the description of this view. So if I open up my layers, uncheck sight, that shows up there. We need a flat ground line put in, but we can do that in a drafting mode in a little while later. So I might also change my time of day to something more of the afternoon to bring some shadows onto that view. Something like that might make the drawing read quite well. Okay, and we're in the drafting style. Yes, in drafting style. I wonder what that would look like in the presentation style. So that might be a nice elevation in presentation style as well. Maybe you might want to do this one in drafting, the west elevation view in drafting, and do the front one in the presentation style. So I'll just get that all like that. We'll right click and update that one. Now there was something we had to go back to the north elevation to change. I'll open up the styles and see what that looks like in the presentation mode. I'll get there in a second. Okay, so I'll just update that. Now I'm going to stop the video right there and we'll come back and do the section in a second.